So we start with order history. So now with respect to order history, we have data for 2019, right? And I've done a couple of things, but the concept is very simple. The first thing I've done is I've said, okay, year on year, show me what the year on year growth numbers look like. So that's what the year on year growth numbers look like for Maya. And within that, I can clearly see that growth is slowing down. So, if this was not a pre-pandemic year, what would be your forecast for 2020? Would it be at 30%? Would it be lower than 30%? Would it be higher than 30%? What do you think? $156, $70, $88, 32%. That's been the growth trend for the last 4 years. Growth is declining. It's gone from 88% to 32% in 2019. But here you have to also think about something else. You also have to think about what is Maya's profile. Maya is a bootstrapped business. It's a capital starved business. The only amount of capital they have is what they have from friends and family. They haven't actually gone out and raised a round of funding. It's not that funding is not available. They just don't. They both, the husband and wife, are both lifestyle entrepreneurs. They don't want to deal with outside external investors. So they'll always be capital starved. Now the question is, with this 32%, in a regular year, would it be 20%, 25%, 15%, 30%? What would be your vote? So I've got, again, let's just see if I have 3 scenarios, right? I've got a base case, which is a regular base case, and I'd say my base case number is about 15%. My pre-pandemic number is about 50%. And I may also have a optimistic, and I have a really, black mood, pessimistic outlook. So I'll put this down at maybe about 100% year on year, and my black mood is going to be, let's see, minus 30% growth. All right. Pre-pandemic, right now, our take is numbers are going to grow at the rate of 15%, 50%. If this was just the base case, if this business as usual, it would be about 15% growth, because that's what the trend indicates, growth is declining. It was really, really optimistic, right? It may not be 50%, it'll be 100%. And if we were really, really dark, if we thought this is going to be not good at all, maybe a reduction of about 30%. This is 50%. And then growth is 33%, and I'm just going to split it evenly. So I'm going to say 16% chance, 16% chance here, 16% here. So that gets us to about, and I'm saying 18% chance of this happening. Our take is that there are 4 possible scenarios. These are our estimated probabilities for those 4 possible scenarios, and these are numbers that we've literally plugged out of the air. The most scientific number here is this one. I'm going to highlight this. It's the most scientific number. Why? Because it's based on a historical trend. But we have 0 data on the impact of a pandemic on online orders, because while we've had pandemics in the past, we didn't have the internet when they happened. And we're not sure whether it's going to be just, a big boost in growth or it's going to be explosive growth. So we sort of split that evenly. We're quite keen on the black mood because, our take is bad news comes in 3s. So pandemic is just the beginning, and there's more bad news on the way. So far so good. Are we all right? So can we use the data? Next question. Can we use the data that we have to see if there is more, maybe a more scientific basis, a more data-driven basis, to get a sense of what these numbers look like? And again, remember, the model that we'll work with will most likely be off. The answer that we get will most likely be wrong. But we just want to see how would we approach this as a thinking problem, as a design problem. So what I've done is I've used a simple tool. Excel has many tools. This is one of my favorite tools. And what this tool does is it'll allow us to use this data set. It'll allow us to use this data set here to see if we can do a better job, if we can do a more scientific job of improving these numbers. You know, I have a history of orders. So I have orders going all the way from December 14 to February 2020, right? And for these orders, what I've done, so this is orders, this is your percentage change. Not a complicated calculation, this is the percentage change. It's the percentage in orders from month on month basis. For example, if you look at minus 63 is if you go to formula and you press trace precedence, it'll show you how have we calculated that. So it's simply, you know, I've taken B10, which is 21, divided by 57, which is B9, and subtracted 1 from it. And that gives you the percentage change. 46 is about 120% growth over 21 orders. That's 119% growth, right? If you come to here, 124 is 120% growth over. So what I've done is I've made this list of changes on a month-on-month basis. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Excel to organize and sort these out for me. So I'll take this. So let me just copy this, control insert. I'm going to go to the side, find an empty space and dump it there. Oh, I don't have space here. Yeah, I have space here. So I'm going to go on the side and dump it here. So I say paste special values and then I say format. So I've done this. Then I ask Excel to sort it for me. So I go to data, I go to sort, and I say, yeah, column Q, cell values, smallest to largest, press OK. There you go. So what Excel's done is Excel sorted this out for me, right? So it's now sorted from the lowest, which is minus 63%, to the highest. And the highest is about 120%. So that's my range, right? Now, what do I want Excel to do? I want Excel to tell me, based on this data, this information that we have in front of us, can you give me a model? Can you give me any intelligent insight that can help me answer the question? What's the likelihood of explosive growth? What's the likelihood of catastrophic decline? What's the likelihood of business as usual? Remember, not the mechanics. Focus on the question. The question we're trying to answer is, what's the chance that we will end up with 100% growth or more? What's the probability that we'll end up with a 30% decline in sales? And why are we doing this? We're doing this because Maya, Altamash and Sabine need to get a sense of what 2020 and possibly 2021 would look like. So now I take this data, this information that we have here, this sorted part, I go to data, I go to data analysis, and I go to histogram. Press OK on histogram, and in histogram I select this range. So I can select the sorted range that I've done here, or I can just go back to my original calculation, which is here. So I press OK here, and then I also give them a bin range. I'm giving them a bin range because I want the data to be presentable in a form where I can use it, right? So I give it a bin range, and that's my bin range. And then I say, give me cumulative percentage, give me chart output, give me a new worksheet, and I press OK. So I expand it, and then I'll try and see if I can make it more prettier. So there you go. You switch to an artistic black, and let's increase the font size so they can see what's happening. Increase the font. There we go. And let's call this. This is your histogram is a fancy word. In reality, this is your distribution of changes in orders month on month, and from 2015 to 2019. Now let's read what does the chart tell us. So there's this nice table on the side. Excel's been kind enough to generate it for us, and the chart is simply a plot of that table, right? And let's take a look at the table. What this table tells us says, listen, how much data do I have? I have sum of, these are all the observations, these are all the orders I had from Maya, right? And the orders I had from Maya were basically about 62 orders. So Excel says catastrophic decline. Let's see, what is the probability in the 62 values we've had? How many months were there where sales dropped by more than 30%? And the answer for that is here. So there were 8 months. This plus this. And 8 out of 62 is the probability. 8 out of 62, sorry. This by 62 here. So you've answered the first question. The probability of catastrophic decline using the historical data set we have available. Increase the font size here. Increase fonts. Okay. Now, the probability of seeing a drop of more than 35%, this part, more than 35%, is 13%. What's the probability of seeing, let's say, an increase in sales of over 45%? And that answer is the sum of these numbers. Broke this down and break it by 62. There you go. So the probability of seeing growth of more than 32% is about, sorry, growth of more than 45% is about 32%. What's the probability, the likelihood of, just a normal month, which is, between anywhere between minus 10% and 25%. That would be the sum of these three values. And you would divide this by 62. And if you sum these, what does that tell you? If you sum all of this from here to here, you get 100%.